they shooting. Everybody bombs, that's Joey to talk music. Coming for the judge, that podium ain't do shit. Put him on a stand, that missile hitting the cruise ship. Damn, spilling that tea like I'm all extra. I don't got the money, sell all of my old Teslas. Lay off everybody, you lucky to get the next up. Trying to hit the season, they replace you in the next up. Secret tunnel through the synagogue, buildings crumble. Where the screws at? Put them on a tarmac, taking off like Matt Pat. Nah, son, I ain't about to travel if it says max. Hey man, don't expect too much if you shake hands. Put it to a vote and they might fuck up your whole plan like no chance. Something in the water, I can feel it. You get trampled at a target where the Stanley's disappearing. Like you built different. Get you famous when you're walking out another prison. But before this you were living with the Munchausen. Now your life crowded, looking major, not like Major. Say Coretta, just like Megan. Oh, Trump drowning. Got his case to the SCOTUS insane. And Cordy's immune from trying to shoot his opponents. And Stone, which is quoted with audio with probable motives. Iowa Caucus is coming, he's still leading in all the polling. While they bombing in Yemen, South Africa got Israel sweating on trial for genocide while Fetterman mixes the message. Comedians edgy is looking pretty mid or it's messy, but I'm sticking here like I'm Hunter when they're trying to get me. Like don't stop now, everybody get famous till they gotta drop out. Actually every poll is like, why Chris here now? Jumping out like a city in the Amazon found, about to make some ground, yeah. Don't stop now, flying under the pressure, I ain't gonna come down. Everybody been talking when that list come round. Play that interview loud, 2024 baby, everybody called out like woo! Oh, too soon or not soon enough? Let's get it live. Yo, we are 2 weeks in and I already want that smoke. Hey, thank you guys so much for watching Freestyle the News. If you like what you heard, please put that like button on your head and have it cooked for you in some of the finest restaurants in Paris. Actually, one of the finest restaurants in Paris, but unfortunately, it's lost 2 of its stars. So it's up to you to really redefine what this could be. But really, it's the like button doing all of the work. The like button is a master cook. But as you know, in Paris, they fucking hate like buttons. They're like, no, we don't want that YouTube shit here. We just want to fucking cook like Parisians and smoke, and then you fall in love with like the girl who like you're cooking with. It's workplace romance, but it's okay. Well, why not? Fuck it, let's do it. Let's do it. But then you find out you also own the Ratatouille is a good film. It is the first Freestyle the News of 2024. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Last year was a fucking dream come true, and we back at it again this year. I have so many things planned for this year. I'm so excited to share all of them with you, but I'm gonna tell you about that a little bit into the show. Let's just jump straight into this breakdown and start with where we're at in 2024, starting things off. And this was a week that showed a little bit more stability from 2023, a little bit more chaos from 2023, and a lot of drama across the board. I'm sure everybody's TikTok or social media feed has been inundated with a Cat Williams interview or some Joe Coy slander, the latter of which is completely deserved. But I want to start this with the prevailing story that everybody's been talking about since last year, AI. AI at the beginning of 2024 has taken a lot of shots already. Games like the finals being accused of replacing their voice cast with AI, multiple GPTs being rolled out on ChatGPT, and Microsoft finally becoming the most profitable company, surpassing Apple. And you gotta know some of that has to be some of their AI integration with Bing. The use of AI art, AI tools, where the boundaries lie is a big conversation going into this year. And even though a lot of writers secured a lot of writing protections from AI last year with the writer's strike, there have been still some scary things going on. For example, Dudesy, a comedy AI platform, dropped a George Carlin special powered by AI fucking a decade and some change after his death. I don't need to explain to you how fucked up and morbid that is, right? Like we're all like people, right? That we all know when like Twitter celebrities died and people use their accounts to promote films, it's kind of fucked up, right? Now this AI special immediately sent the world on fire. George Carlin is known as one of the greatest stand-up comedians of all time, super irreverent, super counterculture. He literally fundamentally changed the entire comic landscape, as well as criticized a lot of consumerism and problems in our society. And this special did rub a lot of people the wrong way, including Carlin's daughter, who voiced extreme displeasure at her father being reanimated in this unbelievably fucked up way. And listen, if you watch like a minute or two of that special, you very, very quickly notice that it has the rhythm and some of the ideas of Carlin down, but it's bland. It's the most corporate, flavorless meal you could possibly have. And that's because AI is trying to regurgitate this thing of cultural lived experience into art, and it doesn't necessarily translate. There are a few people defending it. Like if you look at the comments of the video, it's like, oh my God,
this is so uncanny. It sounds just like him.
And part of me feels like, all of those are fucking bots. I can't prove that they're bots, but it's very weird that an AI company would reanimate one of the greatest stand-up comedians of all time, who would have absolutely fucking hated this thing happening, and wouldn't do other things that are morally duplicitous and fucked up. But yeah, I'm not gonna link to the special. You can find it on your own. It's terrible, so don't waste your time on it. And that's not the only AI story that we have. The other AI story is SAG-AFTRA's deal with an AI voice company to allow voiceover AI in video games, which, dude, this is a massive deal, and a lot of people are speaking out about the union not doing enough to secure protections against AI. Now listen, the union says the contract was specifically tailored to the needs of voice actors, ensuring informed consent and proper compensation terms that are unique to this set of performers. But look, a lot of the issues with AI, specifically in entertainment, is that it can absolutely decimate opportunities for people who aren't as well established. And while there were significant concerns about AI when the on-screen actors contract deal passed, this is a little bit scarier to me. Because yeah, while they're asking actors to get consent for their voices or for denial of that voice being used in perpetuity, the entertainment industry, specifically voice acting, is a gig economy, and voice actors usually get raked over the coals a lot of the time. Now, I'm not gonna be doom and gloom and say, oh, it's all over, we're all fucked, but now it's gonna take significantly more effort for voice actors to combat and make sure that their field isn't overrun by this shit. I think they can do it. I think there's a broad enough consensus among voice actors on how to operate on this. I mean, for example, there are some unwritten rules other voice actors follow, like, hey, don't poach roles and all that shit. But I think especially in this early stage of things, we really have to take a hardline stance that, hey, AI cannot be a replacement. And a lot of voice actors don't feel that this agreement goes far enough to actually do that. And I think they're right. Ooh, start of the year and we're already fucking in robot hell. This is gonna be a big year for how this technology shapes out. I have a feeling it's going to be a lot more important to everything going on this year than we think it is. But I also don't think it's gonna be as scary because we all feel the same way about AI, it feels like. We all feel a little bit creeped out about it, except for like those one or two friends who are like, oh my God, I use AI to cook and to talk to everybody, and I'm secretly a computer too, and I don't make a decision on Baldur's Gate 3 unless ChatGPT tells me what I really have to do. We'll have to wait and see, of course, but let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. All right, real quickly, I gotta tell you a story. So during the holiday break, I got an Apple Watch. It was right before the ban or whatever the hell they were doing, and I really wanted to get one to try to organize my life, you know, track my fitness and try to get back into shape and everything like that. And so I got the watch, I went to the App Store, and I started to look for apps that are like essential for using this Apple Watch. And in terms of like workout apps, there were like 5 million, and every single one of those workout apps I downloaded had a giant wall of text about how they were going to take my name, my biometrics, my address, and all of that, and sell it for a big old bag of money. In order to use those apps, I had to click yes and deal with all of that. And it would have really honestly terrified me a year ago, but for the last 7 months, I've had Incogni, who's the sponsor of today's show. I've had Incogni for about half a year now, and the difference in my experience with data privacy has honestly been night and day. Incogni does the hard, painstaking work of going to all the data brokers who you have willingly or unwillingly given your data over to and takes it down. There's a detailed progress report of how many brokers they've contacted, what brokers have taken it down, what brokers have quarantined that data. It's set it and forget it. It's incredibly easy to sign up, and it is essential in a world that doesn't respect your right to data privacy. For example, I had this email that felt untouchable. Like I couldn't even go into it. It was inundated by ads. I had so many problems with it. I used that with Incogni, and voila, my personal email is back to where it needs to be. I'm not getting spam calls all the time. I can't give you a 1-1 correlation with that, but I can tell you since getting Incogni, my spam call count has gone down significantly. So listen, if you want some peace of mind and to support this cool news rap show, go to incogni.com/Tabani, enter in the code Tabani for 60% off an annual Incogni subscription. 60% off. Wow, that's almost as much as the amount of famous YouTubers quitting the platform. This stuff is really important, especially in a world and in a year where your data is going to be thrown around everywhere. So go to incogni.com/Tabani, enter in the code Tabani, and get some peace of mind. Moving on, let's do a quick check-in on what is probably going to be the biggest story of the year, the 2024 election. I don't even want to do this. We all don't want to do this. No one wants to. Do you know? It's one of those. It's, you know, like it's like opening an article with the name Kanye West on it. I mean, we all know it's going to be bad. We all know it's going to be bad. But how bad? Well, we are all required by law to do it. All right, here's where we're at. Christie has dropped out of the Republican primary. Colorado and Maine have removed Trump from the ballot, but Oregon has refused to do so, citing they want to wait till the Supreme Court weighs on the other two rulings of keeping him off the ballot with the Insurrection Act. Trump is also not on the ballot in Nevada, but that's not because of any ruling. He's not on the ballot in Nevada. All of this while Trump is on trial for civil fraud. And man, there are some really fucked up things that are coming out of that trial. For example, Trump's biggest claim in this trial is that he has presidential immunity. He says, when the president does it, it's not a crime. Who else said that? He didn't say that in like a quote, but that's essentially his point. His feeling is that the president has immunity from prosecution while he is president. And when asked if that immunity extends to Trump assassinating political rivals, the Trump team was like, yeah. What the fuck? Listen, I don't pay attention to grifters all that much, but it went from denialism to absolute stupidity. That's fascism. That's what fascism is. That is what dictators do. Dictators assassinate political rivals and act like I didn't really do anything. That is literally. And if you're that smooth-brained to go, well, he was asked a hypothetical. Okay, why the fuck would you entertain that hypothetical? Like, why the fuck would you? I mean, technically, I can fuck my wife's sister and stay married, but I'm not. No, I would never. Is she free right now? Every year people say this is the most important election that you have to vote for. And then we vote for it. And then the worst people say scarier, worse things. And then we all have to go and deal with these children who just want to blow everything up. I'm not going to lie to you. This is going to be a crazy year. There's probably going to be a lot more stuff that happens that is a little bit batshit. But I think a big thing is to remember key moments like this when people tell you who they are and to engage with your choices when people are trying to scare you away from them. We have plenty more to talk about in 2024. The Iowa caucuses are coming up. There is a chance that Nikki Haley may do a lot better than expected, but let me know what your thoughts are, or honestly, go have an ice cream cone. It's okay, it's January. Go have an ice cream cone, enjoy yourself, and then we'll pick back up when we need to. Okay, let's move on to some entertainment news. One story I really want to talk about, but we're going to start with the other story first. So, okay, if you want to bring the country together, I would just say show them Joe Coy's monologue and have them rate it 1 through 10 and watch everyone agree on something for once. Joe Coy bombed that motherfucker so hard at the Golden Globes. If you don't know who Joe Coy is, he's a Filipino comedian. He's been doing comedy for quite a while. And at the Golden Globes, he had probably one of the worst sets I've ever seen to open an award show. The jokes weren't hitting. Okay, honestly, that's happened before. Anne Hathaway and James Franco. His energy was a little bit off. There's been dozens of hosts like that. But there were a couple moments that sealed the deal. A super misogynistic Barbie joke that made everybody cringe. A really dull joke about Taylor Swift and the NFL and people taking her picture there versus here. It's not great. And probably the cardinal sin for any hosting gig, getting mad at the audience for not laughing at your jokes.
Or what casting directors call character actor. Some I wrote, some other people wrote. Robert De Niro's here. Yo, I got the gig 10 days ago. You want a perfect monologue? Yo, shut up. You're kidding me, right? Slow down. I wrote some of these, and they're the ones you're laughing at. Look.
Let's be very real here. When you bomb, you take that shit like a champ. When you go, I didn't write the jokes, I didn't have enough time. Bro, why the fuck are you telling us? What a way to flip over the chessboard when you're losing. Dude, just write it out and just be like, hey, I took my shot. There are plenty of comedians who have bombed hosting gigs and done exactly that. Anne Hathaway bombed the Oscars, oh my God, but took that shit like a champ. Your short lead time doesn't really mean anything. Jon Stewart had barely any fucking time to get ready for the Oscars, and that dude fucking went in and pulled that off as best as he could. People complained, he still took that shit like a champ. He didn't go midway through the ceremony and go,
you know, you guys are fucking assholes for not laughing at my jokes, okay? I'm here, and I'm trying so hard.
But yeah, that was embarrassing. Let me know if you caught Joe Coy's monologue or if you actually liked it. I've not met somebody yet who liked that thing. I'm just curious to see as to why. And the story I'm really excited to get to is Stephen A. Smith versus Jason Whitlock. Okay, Okay, a lot of you may not know who these two people are. Let me describe this to you because it's worth it. Stephen A. Smith is a sports pundit. He's like the Prometheus of sports pundit. He's like the Oppenheimer of sports punditry, along with Skip Bayless. They both founded sports punditry and then just dropped it on everything you like, and now that's everything on ESPN. But Smith is known for his hot takes, for his impassioned speeches, for incorrectly predicting the NBA Finals like 8 fucking times, which I will never get over, Stephen. I'm sorry. Listen, I am not the biggest Stephen A. Smith fan. He honestly pisses me the fuck off a lot of the times, but I can't deny that he has transformed the sports media landscape in multiple ways. Yes, some negative, but also a lot positive. And then you have Jason Whitlock, who is kind of a fucking buffoon. He's also a sports media caster, but a very controversial one. He's been caught plagiarizing, he has a horrible reputation with a lot of people, and he currently has a stint on The Blaze, which is Glenn Beck's network. So you know how that's going. Real quickly, I've seen this motherfucker around, but I want to let everybody know what my first Twitter experience of 2024 was. It was opening up Twitter and seeing Jason post about some ads he had seen advertising some really explicit stuff and being like, huh, all right, ESPN, you're going to just put those ads on your website, not knowing that Google ads are targeted. And the reason he's seeing that really fucking crazy explicit shit is because he's watching that shit. Oh, Jason, I've never seen somebody caught in 12K resolution before. That is that's insane. How many pixels are on that? But obviously, why am I talking about these two people? Well, Jason Whitlock really doesn't like Stephen A. Smith, and he's been saying that for a while, and Stephen A. Smith hasn't really said anything until a couple days ago, where he dropped an hour-long banger just ethering the fuck out of Jason Whitlock. Listen, remember last year how H Bomber Guy just Thanos snapped Illuminati and James Somerton out of existence? Imagine if H Bomber Guy then did a drive-by at their house, and that's what the fuck this is. He came with receipts. He came with what's the reality TV show clip?
Receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots, everything to prove that you are a bully.
And this clip blew up. Obviously, Jason Whitlock is an incredibly controversial person, but listen, he's been coming at Stephen A. Smith for quite a while. And the reaction on the internet is pretty firmly on Smith's side. And a lot of this also has to do with the fact that Stephen A. really centered this. He didn't make it a political thing. He gave respect to some of the Blaze's journalists, people who I would personally not give a lot of respect to, but he gave it to them as hey, these are broadcasters who are trying to do work. Even if I disagree with that work, they are trying to do work. This person is a parasite who is absolutely not worth it in this community. He is a toxin to this community, which is really smart because it decenters it from the common culture war stuff and really lets you examine how much of a problem Whitlock has been in this industry. So look, as of now, Whitlock has not responded. We'll have to wait and see what he says. I'm sure he will respond, but I don't think that he has much of a future in broader sports journalism at this point. And this seems like a big nail in the coffin. Dude, Stephen A. Smith called you a bitch. That's pretty crazy. Anyway, that's gonna do it for today's show. Thank you guys so much for watching. I got a Zed Talks episode we posted earlier in the week about all the YouTubers and the quitting that's going on. In terms of overseas news, I will probably cover that in a different episode, in a Zed Talks episode or something, just because these videos have been getting hit because I cover that kind of stuff. So I want to make it a separate video that's not monetized at all, that you guys can peruse and YouTube won't suppress it. Anyway, I'm excited for the future. My name is Tabani, and I'll see y'all soon. Let's go!